붙자고 하지 마시오. 안녕하세요 여러분 and welcome back to my channel. I will be your K-drama queen for today. As I was scripting this review, I accidentally noticed that I found a detail that could throw the entire plot of this drama out the window. Before I get into that though, all of you spoiler sensitive people, you have been warned. There are spoilers coming ahead, so if you haven't seen this drama or if you haven't completed this drama, please go and watch it and then come back here so that we all can share what we thought and felt about it. Right, so I feel like I should start talking about the plot because that tiny little detail has to do with the entire plot of this drama. I thought the plot was very interesting, it was very intricate, and I liked how, even though this drama revolved pretty much around the plane crash and a deserted island, that wasn't really the main focus. The main focus was actually what happened before the plane crash and figuring out how it happened, why it happened, who was involved, what were they doing. And those of you guys who have seen my other reviews, you guys will know that I judge a drama by the first and the last episode, and the first episode blew my mind. That is where I got hooked, and that is where the delivery of this entire drama really surprised me, where it is told from a perspective of a sole survivor who also happens to have a memory loss, which is a bit of an overused concept in Korean dramas, I must say, but here it really did fit in. It felt quite organic and it did make sense as to why it would happen, so I didn't feel bothered by it. So the first episode got me really excited about what there is to come in the future episodes, and I did get quite disappointed at times because unfortunately the plot did get a little stretched out. There were times where the scenes were unnecessarily long or there were just unnecessary scenes. So this really made me think about how much potential this drama has, but its entire 100% potential wasn't really achieved in my eyes. And that is my overall opinion about the plot of this drama. Speaking more specifically, there were a couple of things I really liked about it and really didn't like. So the one thing I really appreciated, and I want to take this time to talk a little bit about it, is the fact that this entertainment industry in Korea was not glamorized. For the past decade or so, the Hallyu wave and K-pop have been penetrating pretty much the entire world, and there are more and more people out there who love Korea, who are learning the language, they listen to K-pop, they watch dramas, and they actually want to move to Korea for whatever reason. And I personally actually received so many messages and letters from people saying, oh, I'm 13 years old, but I really like K-pop and I really want to get into it, I really want to be a trainee, how can I do it, do you have any advice, la la. And first of all, who am I to know? Yes, I did audition for some entertainment companies very long time ago. I was really young. I was also completely blinded by the glitz and glam of K-pop and Korean dramas, and I didn't really know much about Korea at all. But then as I started to learn Korean and I started to educate myself about what Korea is like, about its society, and about its entertainment industry, I got a little bit disappointed, but not because Korea's entertainment industry sucks. I'm not saying that in any way. The reason why I got disappointed is because I knew the type of entertainment industry there is in the States, in the Western world, in Russia, and I was just hoping that Korea would be different. I was just hoping blindly that it would not be as bad as, well, the entertainment industry really is, but I was wrong, and that's where I was disappointed. Korea is just like any other country, and it has good sides to it and bad sides to it, and there are good and bad people in there too, so I absolutely stand by the point that the writers tried to make in this drama, that unfortunately sometimes the entertainment industry can get really dirty. People are going to be used, talent is going to be exploited, there are going to be old, nasty, untalented people trying to make a lot of money out of these young, attractive, and talented people, and that's unfortunately the reality, and I was super happy to see it being portrayed like this openly on, well, Korean national television. So hopefully the show business scene in Korea continues to be unglamorized so that maybe there will be potential for change. Because if people find out the true colors of it, maybe, just maybe, their attitudes will change and parents would not want to send their kids to be trainees and to be exploited and not paid on time and things like that. And maybe that will force entertainment companies to change. That is just one person's opinion. I know I'm being quite naive and unrealistic because at the end of the day, people are greedy. People do need to survive and earn money, and you know, you do what you gotta do. Going back to Mizīngnain drama, I really, really appreciated that part of the plot where the show business industry in Korea was shown in its nasty, gruesome glory. Even though I really think that it was taken a little bit out of proportion, I'm sure it was a bit exaggerated, I'm just gonna be naive that way. On the other hand, the one thing I didn't like about the plot of this drama is how lightly murder was taken, and how attitudes towards people who commit murder were not portrayed in a way that I myself would like them to be portrayed. I hope that sentence made sense. I'll explain. So before completing the drama, all we know about Taeho is that he killed a pilot on the island, Sohee saw it, then he killed Sohee, he also killed Yeol accidentally, but still. Then he attempts to kill reporter Kim, he does end up killing reporter Kim, and then he goes on a complete rampage and he tries to murder everyone on the boat. These are the things that we end up knowing by the time Taeho comes back to Korea. With that said, later down the line, we see all these survivors coming back and unfortunately having to take Taeho's side because he and Jang Do-pal have these strings attached to all of them. They're manipulating them, they're threatening them. What can you do? Alright, I totally get it. These people are threatened. They don't want to do what they want to do. They don't want to cover up a murderer, but they have to in order to survive and their loved ones to survive. I myself have obviously never been in this situation. Russian thing, I'm sorry. Seeing all these people like Jia and Taehoang and Kijun coming back and not really being traumatized by the kind of image they saw of Taeho was a bit unrealistic to me. So these moments where Jia had a photo shoot with Taeho and then she just sat down next to him and she tried to be sarcastic, but she wasn't venomous enough. Like, I myself, if I would be in her situation, I would try to be as evil and as tormenting to him as I could just to make his life a living hell because of what he did. In public, of course, I have to keep up the image of supporting him, whatnot, but in private, man, I'd try to make his life hell. So that's something that I really wanted to see these characters do because I just felt like they accepted the death of so many people really, really easily when they got back to Seoul. This could be just my personal opinion, but in case some of you felt the same way, I just had to put it out there. So yeah, moving on to one small thing that I really, really liked about this drama is the fact that there was no romance. Yay! It was so unnecessary. It would have been so unfitting and so distracting from the actual plot. I am super glad that there was little tiny, slightly romantic moments sprinkled across all the episodes, but they were not overwhelming. So the fact that Juno and Bongi did not end up being openly in a relationship and like super smoochy and touchy and whatever, that was really nice and refreshing. Thank you so much, writers. Alright, the last thing I have to say about the plot is what I mentioned at the beginning of this video, where I think I found a compelling argument for one occurrence in this drama that literally cancels out the entire plot. So hear me out on this, let's figure it out. As we go further along the drama, we realize that Jaehyun's death was not a suicide. And honestly, this entire let's blame Juno for someone's suicide thing was a bit confusing to me. I mean, it might be a Korean cultural, societal thing, but to me, if someone commits suicide, I don't think there should be anyone blamed. There are external factors, there are a lot of things that go on inside a person's head, and I don't think that there could be one specific person blamed for someone's suicide, especially in this instance, especially in this situation. I also felt like it was very dumb of this entertainment company to reveal this whole situation with Juno and blame him and use him as a scapegoat. I could only imagine that is because they didn't like Juno in this company. They just kind of wanted to ruin his career, or I don't know. As an entertainment company, I would probably want to keep everything a secret. I'd probably release a statement saying that unfortunately, yes, this guy did commit suicide. We're really, really sorry. We feel really bad, but what can be done? Sometimes it happens. I wouldn't blame my own artist for that to get a backlash and have a group be completely ruined and disbanded and just doesn't make sense. But alright, whatever, that happened. Taeho came to Jaehyun, tried to talk to him, didn't end up persuading him, pushes him, Jaehyun falls, hits his head, and blood starts gushing out. Alright, terrible accident, terrible situation, but it is an accident. Taeho didn't end up killing Jaehyun. So the first thing that he should have done, check the pulse. Is that person still alive? Am I gonna be charged for murder or am I gonna be charged for battery? Two different charges. Alright, let's say he didn't check the pulse. Let's say he didn't call an ambulance. Let's say he called Jang Do-pal to come and clean up the mess. This is where I feel like President Jang is portrayed as overly brutal and unnecessarily stupid. Instead of taking Jaehyun to the hospital after finding out that he's still alive and trying to make it better and talk to Jaehyun and try to get extenuating circumstances for Tae-ho, why does he have to stage a suicide and ruin the life of another artist of his company? Is it only because he really likes Tae-ho and he just doesn't want to lose this boy who makes him a lot of money? I still don't think logically it's enough for murder. Like, I'm really trying to think as a psychopath right now. If I would be in that situation, I would bribe, I would manipulate, I would threaten, but I would keep Jaehyun alive because the moment someone dies, that's a really big issue. As long as you keep everyone alive, you can play around with strings and whatever as an evil person, right? I feel like if this wouldn't have happened, Tae-ho wouldn't end up being the murderer that he was. So yes, what do you guys think? Did I find a fundamental flaw in the plot of this drama? Let me know in the comments. I feel like I've rambled a lot about the plot, but I feel like that's really because I don't really have much else to say about the characters, production, and the soundtracks. So let's quickly get through these three. Characters. I really enjoyed them. They were annoying at times, but it just made them that much more realistic, that much more relatable. So yeah, Tae-ho was annoying, Sohee was annoying. Other survivors were annoying at times. Da-bong-hee was really annoying at times because she just did not know how to talk and defend herself. Oh my god. But with that said, I really appreciated how she changed. She gained more courage and she literally became a badass. Her and Jia were so amazing in that hospital scene where all these henchmen came to get Jia and Kijun and basically kill them. Man, that scene was screaming girl power all over it. And I really appreciated the fact that girls were finally being portrayed as strong and independent and very, very capable in comparison to men in a Korean drama. That is something I really did not see a lot in Korean dramas previously. In terms of production, I think everything was great. Cinematography-wise, really, really well done. I also would like to point that the creative director did a really, really great job in this specific drama. I love the costumes, I love the set, I love the locations, the feel of it. So in terms of production, 10 out of 10. The only thing I have to say about the soundtracks for this drama is that the background music was amazing. It really added that little spice to a lot of scenes and it was really fitting, but the original soundtracks were alright. They weren't spectacular to the point where I would have an urge to look them up and listen to them even when the drama is over. I just didn't have that. But that doesn't mean that they were bad. They were just meh. Okay. In terms of miscellaneous things, man, there were a few that got a little bit on my nerves. I never understood how Da-bong-hee, coming from a small provincial town, only getting her one job before the island and before the plane crashed and then coming back without having a job, how does she afford all those amazingly cute jackets? I mean, she changes her jackets all the time and they look so cute and they're so pastel and I love them and oh, I want all of them. I swear they look expensive. Like, they cannot be inexpensive. I've shopped for these jackets. I got one in really bright yellow and I wouldn't say it was overly expensive, but it wasn't cheap. So how does she manage to get so many cute jackets? I don't know. I feel like that's a very similar concept to a lot of dramas where they feature super high-end and super new cell phones that even like really, really poor people would have, and when you watch the drama you just like don't really understand how that's possible, but product placement, what can you do? Just gotta make it work. Another ridiculous thing to me was that cliff hanging scene. And honestly, I could drop every other ridiculous thing I found about this drama if I only get to mention this one, because really guys, Juno looks like he weighs at most 55 kilos. Tae-ho looks like he weighs at least 70 kilos. I mean, he's Korean, maybe like 65. But still, Tae-ho is much bigger, much heavier than Juno, and Juno does not look very athletic. So how on earth did he manage to garner this climber's grip where he just holds on like this, locks his fingers, has intense strength to hold himself and another person with one arm without having his elbow or shoulder dislocating? I don't understand. Seriously, it looked fake, it was just unnecessary. Like, there could have been a much better way to have Tae-ho almost get killed and Juno thinking that he killed him without actually having him killed. the writers literally just had to think a little bit more. Alright, so that is it for today's review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would also really like to know what you guys thought about this drama, so head over to the comment section. It's all yours. Let's start a discussion. Let's talk about this drama. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I will see you all later this week. Bye! Annyeong!